You guys are savage. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a reading and reacting to people's assumptions about me. I told you guys to send in your assumptions, and I have glanced through some of these and you guys are savage. So I have about 1,000 responses here. I'm gonna try to go through as many as I can, so let's just get right on into it. So the first one is, I assume baby James was an accident. James was not an accident. James was very much planned. In fact, it took Alex and I 6 months to conceive him. The next one is that you are super patient with baby James all the time, even when he is fussy. And I will have to say that yes, I stay very calm and very patient with James. I do think that that is one of my strengths as a mother, is that I'm very patient and very calm always, even when James is throwing a fit, which, to be fair, James is a very happy child and actually doesn't throw fits very often. He does not like his diaper being changed, so that is a big daily struggle. He cries pretty much always when we try to change his diaper, but other than that, he's a pretty happy baby and he's pretty easy. I'm reading off of my phone, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking down. You live a privileged life, but get upset when people assume you don't work hard for yourself. And this one actually ties into probably one of the most common ones I got, which are about finances. I got a lot of, your parents have always taken care of you, you're wealthy. I've gotten a few, you're not wealthy, your parents have to pay for everything. Your parents have paid for most of your life and then you never worry about finances. Some are saying you only come back to YouTube when you need money. So your parents are very well off. So finances. My parents did pay for my college, and that is something that a lot of kids do not have. I was very blessed that my parents were willing and able to pay for my college, and therefore I didn't have any debt coming out of college. I think a lot of people really suffer with student loan debt, and that is something that I was fortunate enough not to have. However, other than that, my parents have not taken care of me financially at all. Starting in high school, as soon as I was able to get a job, I did. I got a job at Hollister, and then I got a job at Abercrombie & Fitch. I worked at both of them for a few years, and then I got a job at Dooney & Burke, and I continued working at Abercrombie at the same time. So I had 1 to 2 jobs at all points, starting as soon as I was old enough to. And at that point, my parents cut me off financially, other than paying for school. So they did pay for my school and they did pay for a meal plan. So while I was in college, I was completely financially covered as far as the things I needed in order to live, like my housing, my school, and my food. But anything extra I paid for completely on my own. And then after school, I was completely on my own. My cars, my houses, my rent, my apartments, all my clothes, all my everything is paid for by me through the money I make through when I was doing YouTube full-time and my sticker shop, as well as my husband's income. So we do not get any sort of financial handouts from any of our parents, and I haven't since literally high school, with the exception of paying for college, like I said. I see a lot of assumptions that I don't enjoy YouTube, and this one makes me a little bit confused, because here's the thing. If I didn't like YouTube anymore, why would I be sitting here doing it? YouTube used to pay really, really well with AdSense. So this is not talking about sponsorships. That's a totally separate thing. But just putting up YouTube videos used to pay really well. Now, when I first started doing YouTube videos, I didn't know you could make money, and I wasn't making any sort of money. I was not a YouTube partner, and I didn't know that you could make money through YouTube. But once I became a YouTube partner and I started making AdSense money, that used to be a significant amount of money, enough that you could live off of it. But that is not the case anymore. AdSense is not enough to live off of at all anymore. So now you have to rely on sponsorships in order to make a living off YouTube. And that is why so many YouTubers that you watch probably do consistent sponsorships, because you have to in order to be a full-time YouTuber. I have recently begun offering sponsorships again, and the only reason that I've done that is because I want to start making more consistent YouTube videos instead of just doing them more sporadically like I have been over the past couple of years when I wasn't doing brand deals. If I did not like YouTube anymore, I would not be putting my time into this channel. I just wouldn't be. I would be concentrating completely on the sticker shop, which is where the majority of my income is based and where all of my income could be if I put all of my time there versus spending some time doing YouTube. One of my goals for 2020 was to balance it more and make more YouTube videos, and that is why I've started accepting brand deals again after a couple of years of just not wanting to do them at all. Everything is a balance, but I can say that I am not making as much on YouTube as I could be if I was putting that time into my sticker shop, and therefore I am not doing it for financial reasons. I'm doing it because I miss it, I like it, and you know what? I've been doing it for 11 years. Anything that you do for 11 years, no matter what it is, you're going to need breaks, and you're gonna go through waves of really loving it and being inspired and then like not being inspired. The next one is I assume you have a lazy eye. Okay, so I get this every now and then on videos. It's not every video, like a couple months will go by sometimes without seeing it, and then I'll get a comment like this. And I have tried to figure it out because in real life, I have never had anyone say that. I have never had an eye doctor bring it up. Like it's never, I've looked in the mirror, I've tried to figure it out, and I figured it out. So I actually have two different colors of eyes. This one has brown in it. And because of the darkness right in the center of the bottom of this eye, it can actually make my pupil look like it's looking in a slightly different direction than it is. If you actually look at my eyes, this one has brown in it and this one does not. They are two different colors. And that is what it is. Sometimes on camera, depending on where my lights are set up and depending on all of that, that can happen. And that's why it's not in every video. I assume that YouTube life ended for you and Blair sooner than you had expected. I don't really know what this person means by this, by ended, because I'm still making YouTube videos. I think she might mean like the peak of our popularity. And to that, I would say, no, it doesn't surprise me because the peak of our popularity was 2011 and 2012. And in 2013, that was a year where I was going through a lot of stuff and I was not posting as much. And that was the year I dyed my hair brown, and Alex and I were like broken up during that time. I was dating this other random guy and it just was a strange time in my life. And looking back on that year, it does not surprise me at all that the YouTube popularity thing fizzled out at that point because I didn't enjoy it anymore. I was going through a phase where I just wanted to walk away from everything, and I don't have any regrets for that break that I took that year. Looking back on it, I do not wish that I was still in the throes of YouTube popularity because the top people on YouTube now, they have it kind of bad. There were a lot of things that happened behind the scenes with everything in the peak of our YouTube days, and there were a lot of things that really kind of crushed my spirit behind the scenes that I don't even know if I can legally talk about contractually. Some of the brand deals that we did, not sponsor videos on YouTube, but more like partnerships that we had, were kind of awful behind the scenes. And I felt very out of control. I felt like I had no control over my own image and my own, like what I was doing, the deals I was accepting, because I was kind of forced into a lot of stuff. And I think ultimately what I went through caused me to want to take that huge break after my wedding and like not do videos for over a year. Not every partnership that we had was bad. I had some partnerships that I absolutely loved every moment of it. So I definitely don't want you guys to like look back at all the partnerships we had and think that every one of them was terrible. But the ones that were bad were very, very, very bad. And I was very unhappy with what I was being forced to do. The next one is you really didn't enjoy a lot of the perks of being a beauty guru at your peak. Okay. I was my own worst enemy when it came to increasing our influence and fame at our peak. And this has probably upset Blair through the years because I was the one holding us back from seeing if we could get even bigger than we were. And one thing that I don't think we've ever talked about was we actually had 3 contracts for reality shows. We shot 3 pilots. With all 3 of them, we were offered full contracts to actually shoot an entire season of a show. And I am the reason that we did not do it. And that is because, oh gosh, I could make a whole video on this. I have to talk to Blair and make sure it's okay first. But I was not comfortable with what they were asking of us. They wanted it to be kind of, this was like at the Kardashians' peak. So it was kind of gonna be like it was gonna be a follow us around style reality show like the Kardashians or like the Hills. And they wanted drama. They wanted us to fight. They wanted to kind of create situations in which, and obviously, you know that happens with the Kardashians and with the Hills. And I wasn't okay with it. I think Blair's just a more dramatic person. And so I think for her, it wouldn't have even been like fake, because I think she just would have gotten into that role and like let out her more dramatic diva-ish self. But for me, it would have been fake, because I am not that person. I'm actually introverted. I'm calm. I have a very steady mood. So I obviously have sad days and happy days, but for the most part though, I'm generally pretty steady and calm. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't sell out. And you know what? It sucks, because one of the things that people say about us the most is that we're total sellouts, you know, all this stuff. And looking back on what we went through, I know that it's not true. And that's probably the most hurtful thing that is thought about me within the YouTube world. I think that she kind of always regretted that we didn't go down that path. I know she did, because we talk about it from time to time. And, you know, ultimately, I think, well, I'd like to think that she agrees with me at the end of the day that maybe it was better we didn't do it, but I think she feels like I held her back from something that it was a hard decision, you guys. And it wasn't one contract we turned down. It was 3 different contracts, and it was me. It wasn't Blair. And I think if she had just been a single YouTuber without a sister, like at her peak, she would have gotten the show and done it, and probably would have blown up to a much bigger deal than she was. I assume that you've had Botox or fillers. Not true. Never had either, although I'm not against it. And in fact, I've considered in more recent months of going and getting Botox and fillers. I kind of want to get under eye fillers. I've seen that they can like make your under eye kind of canals fill it in a little bit so that you don't have those dark circles. I think that I could benefit from that, but I have never tried Botox or fillers. Someone said, back when you got engaged, I assumed that you and Alex were faking your engagement for YouTube views. Oh my gosh. No, if we had wanted to like kind of ham it up a little bit, we would have been posting when we were just dating. We wouldn't have like waited until a secret engagement all of a sudden. Like we hid that we were dating for a long time before announcing it with the engagement. At that point we thought, well, we're definitely gonna be together now because we're engaged, so we need to like tell people. So that's why we decided to announce. The next one is, you argue with Blair more than anyone else in your life, and that is 100% correct. Blair and I are best friends, but we are also sisters, and we argue. She is someone, I say this all the time to my mom, she is such an opposite personality to me. She is a Aries, she's a fire sign, if that means anything to you. And there's something about her that drives me crazy sometimes. Like we see the world in such different ways. But she's also my best friend. And so it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, I'm a Gemini, and I swear it's like the 2 twins. Like there's part of me that is like her best friend and like wants to be with her all the time. And there's part of me who's like, you are the most different from me than anyone could ever be. Yes, we argue a lot, but we also love each other and we are best friends. I assume you have breast implants. I'm shocked that I still get comments like this because I've been very vocal about the fact that my breasts are huge. They are real, and I in fact want a reduction after I'm done having all of my babies, because my doctors think that one of the reasons that I might have broken my back a few years ago is because of the weight of my chest. So I am definitely very disproportioned. If you guys can see, waist, boobs, not in proportion. And it does give me a lot of back pain, but they are definitely real. I assume that you like when fans say hello to you. Absolutely. I love it when you guys come up to me in person, in real life. Always, always come up to me and say hi if you see me. The next one is you only make short videos that are sponsored now because your heart isn't in YouTube anymore. Incorrect. This video is not sponsored, for instance. I assume that you are still a bit traumatized by all the hate and drama you got on YouTube back in the day. Yes. 100%. I did grow a thick skin over the years. I have been doing YouTube for 11 years, but some of what I went through in the peak years of YouTube have 100% affected the YouTuber that I then went on to be over the following years. And you know, I took a really long break from it, and I kind of reassessed my priorities in life and cut out all of the toxic things that were happening behind the scenes completely. I'm just hoping that I can like get back into more consistent content, because the joy is still there, but I do think that I'm guarded, and I think that I have, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think I have a little bit of PTSD from things that happen. And you know what? Blair says it to me all the time. She's like, you're a different person, like off screen and on screen, than you were back then because of some of the things that we went through. So I think it affected me a lot more than her. It didn't really affect her at all, to be quite honest. I assume you started the trend of YouTube sponsorships. Blair and I, we were the first ones to kind of create the YouTube sponsorship world. There might have been other YouTubers at the time doing brand deals, but I don't think that it was in the capacity that Blair and I were, and I don't think that it was, I think that we were in fact the first ones to kind of grow the whole like branded YouTube channel thing. I assume you downplayed your YouTube wealth in your LA days, for instance, driving a Porsche and hiding it in order to be relatable. So I did downplay things, but it wasn't in order to be more relatable. It was just because that's polite. That's just how I was raised. I don't know, like I didn't really feel the need to show off my car. That was a cute car. I don't have it anymore. It was a little 2-seater Boxster, and it was silver, and it had red leather seats. Oh, that car. That was a good car. Currently, I don't even have a car, so Alex and I are a one-car family. Currently, we are actually gonna get a minivan because we're planning on having more kids. Gosh, we have gotten so old, but that was a really cute car. I don't know, I just didn't feel like I needed to like talk about it publicly. I just really loved it. I assume that you don't have a 401k or retirement savings, and that is untrue. I do have a retirement account, and I put the maximum amount each year that you're allowed to put in it. So, and I've done that from the beginning. That was totally due to my parents basically not forcing us, because they didn't have control over our finances, but heavily recommending that we do that from the very beginning of when we started making money. So that is something that I've always done and always kind of made a priority. Okay, so overall, I would say that most of the assumptions were justified or understandable. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I probably only touched about 10% of the ones that were sent to me. I tried to tackle the big ones that I saw repeated over and over, but I can always do a part 2 if you guys especially liked this video. So definitely leave me a comment below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys with my next video. Goodbye.